Lads, lads, lads.
Lads, 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 ladies and gentlemen, however you want to put it. It's Hal Stewart's here and solo today, going to be speaking to Chris Williams, a football journalist, a Liverpool fan from Liverpool website. This is Anfield. Chris, how's it going, my friend?
Very good, Hal. Thanks. How are you?
It's lovely to have you on. I often introduce people and say, how's it going, my friend? But we are actually friends and go back many, many years. So this is a real privilege to actually be able to talk football with you and not just like in the playground.
And I can normally when we talk, there's no video. So you normally radio in and I don't get to see pretty face.
Yeah, that's what you think. You think I'm not recording all our previous conversations, but I have been. Got a backlog. Now, Chris, you're a massive Liverpool fan and you always have been. So let's start with this. How do you feel the season is going so far for Liverpool?
It's a good question because it should be the best season ever because we're reigning champions, after a very long wait. But it's not the best at the minute because we've got injuries. There's no fans in the stadium. It doesn't feel like a season. It certainly doesn't feel like a champion's defense. It just seems very odd. So what should be the best season of our lives, it's a little bit flat, I think. And that's before we look at the football. Some of the football's been really good. Occasionally it's been very poor. I think Aston Villa game reflective of that. But yeah, it just feels very odd. Not how I would have imagined being champions on Matchday 4, 5, 6 would feel.
Yeah, they've waited so long, you're right. And for fans not to be there, it seems like such a shame. And you think of also Leeds United fans as well. They're finally back in the big time and they can't be there. I do get that. Sheffield United fans really also feeling that pain. I think Sheffield United, the team, also feeling the pain of not having the backing of the 12th man at Bramall Lane. So we always ask opposition fans for the three key players. Now, one of those key players would be Virgil van Dijk, but he got an injury. I believe it was quite an innocuous challenge and no one's really talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have blinked, you wouldn't have really seen the challenge. It wasn't really that much of a challenge. Yeah, it's a terrible challenge by Pickford, isn't it? Taking him out for the whole season. It wasn't the only one. Richarlison as well on Thiago. But three key players, it would normally be, I would say to you, the three key players for Liverpool is Alisson in goal, Virgil van Dijk, and then choose your forward. Is it Mane? Is it Salah? At the minute, I think the three key players to watch for Liverpool will be the goalkeeper, Adrian. Is he having a good day or a bad day? Who's gonna start as a centre back, or who's going to be the centre back pairing? And for this particular game, because Liverpool are going to play, or by the time this comes out, maybe Liverpool will have played against Ajax. It's so many games in such a short space of time. The third one becomes who's going to start up front. So normally it'd be a very easy answer. And I just rattle off three key players. And I may even just give you the forward three, but I think with the Ajax game, Liverpool will be all changed. So for me, it's Adrian. The two defenders are going to be key to this game.
We then look at weaknesses. Now, you've got Virgil van Dijk out. Sheffield United have our own Virgil van Dijk missing for a similar amount of time in Jack O'Connell. And for Sheffield United fans, you ask them to name our back three, and every single Sheffield United fan will say Basham, Egan, O'Connell like that. But for Liverpool, for a little while now, it's probably been quite hard to say who is the best two. It's Virgil van Dijk and an other. So when we think about the weakness, is the weakness actually in defence?
Without Virgil van Dijk there, yes, I think it is. And a couple of times this season, I think the Leeds game and the Villa game especially, it's who partners Van Dijk. That can be a weakness. Joe Gomez has been as good as he has poor, really. His consistency's been a flaw. And who comes in with him? Will it be Joel Matip, who plays very well, but occasionally someone described him, he's made of prawn crackers. Probably a good description because he seems to be in for a bit and out for a little bit longer. So the back four would normally pick itself. You've got the two wing backs, Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, and then it would be Van Dijk and or Gomez, Matip. And previously it was Lovren. Fabinho can play there. But at the minute, it's who's gonna be the central two in defence.
Lovren's now very busy instead, just writing controversial things on Twitter and seemingly responding to everyone. So we know he's not wasting his time. For you, with Virgil van Dijk fit, who is the best partner?
Joel Matip for me, and I know Joe Gomez is brilliant. He is a really good player, but he's still showing that developmental issues. So he'll have a really good game one week and a poor game the week after. If you're looking for a bit more consistency, for me, Joel Matip fills that position, but then you've got to balance it off against his injury record as well. So not ideal.
Saturday against the Blades, it's an 8 p.m. kickoff. The likely 11 against Sheffield United. Have you got any ideas?
Normally, yes, I would have, but with Liverpool playing obviously the derby and then against Ajax midweek, the Sheffield United game comes thick and fast, almost 3 games in a week, pretty much. So this should be a chance for Jurgen Klopp to rotate. I would think this would be the match, not because it's Sheffield United. Whoever Liverpool were playing on this particular match day, the rotations would have gone. Adrian will start in goal. I would say Trent would start on the right-hand side. Then if you over the other side, Andrew Robertson could be replaced by Kostas, Greek player who sort of was signed in the summer. He could get his first start. And then in the centre, is it going to be Gomez and Matip? Is it going to be Fabinho and Matip? Fabinho and Gomez, we'll have to wait and see on that. In the middle, it'll give him a chance to rotate. I think James Milner could come in there. And I think it will be Henderson, Milner, either Naby Keita or Gini Wijnaldum. And then up front, again, I think we're going to see some changes. So you might not see, the dreaded front three as opposition fans, may know them. Diego Jota should start, I would think. And then Minamino will come in as well. So out of Liverpool's traditional front three, I personally think you'll just see either Salah or Mane. You won't see the pair of them. And Roberto Firmino looks like he could do the rest as well. And this is bearing in mind that Liverpool don't pick up any injuries between now and then.
Interesting. I mean, in one way, that's good for Sheffield United. We're not facing the might of a full-strength first choice Liverpool 11. But another way of looking at it is a lot of these players will be very keen to impress.
Yeah, they will. The likes of Minamino, if he gets a full game or even half a game, he's been limited to real short 5 minutes here, 4 minutes there. If he gets a chance, he'll want to show. Naby Keita is so hot and cold at the minute. If he's given a chance, he could take it. He might not. And then Jota's looked really, really lively when he's come on for Liverpool. Looked really good against Lincoln not so long ago. Scored his goal against Arsenal. Even though Liverpool were absolutely battered by Villa, I still think he played quite well in patches. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he gets the nod ahead of a rested Salah or Mane.
Now, this next question I love asking of opposition fans, which is, when you hear Sheffield United, what do you think of? What is synonymous with that club?
Greasy Chip Butty, first off, is the song. And then I was thinking about this. It's either going to be 90s football and or Neil Warnock. So think of Sheffield United, think of Neil Warnock. And I think of Neil Warnock's hypocrisy when he was at Sheffield United as well. That's what comes to mind.
Give me an example.
Oh, so I remember Neil Warnock when Rafa Benitez made a raft of changes, Liverpool playing in the Champions League final. And I think it cost Sheffield United their place in the Premier League. And he wasn't particularly happy about that. But a couple of weeks previously, Warnock had rested his whole 11 against Manchester United because he thought, well, we're not going to get anything at Manchester United, so we'll just change the team. So that was his hypocrisy for me.
Oh, you put me on the back foot a little bit there, because it's quite hard to argue with that. And I do remember that Manchester United game, and we saw some really exciting players that we hadn't seen too much of, who would end up being good, useful players for us. I mean, Luton Shelton had a fantastic game then, but we hadn't really seen much of him before that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So I suppose normally if someone else asks you that question, you'd also say you think of me when you think of Sheffield United.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think of Hal Stewart from the radio, from Sheffield United YouTube channel. That's who I'd say.
That's the badger. Now, would you like to give us a score prediction? I personally hate giving these, but if you were put on the absolutely had to give one, what would you say?
Well, it all depends if Brewster's going to play. Is he going to play?
I personally think Rhian Brewster will start this game up front with David McGoldrick.
Okay, so if Brewster's not playing, I maybe say Liverpool can edge it 2-1, especially with the plays they've got out. But if Brewster's playing, it could be 2-2. But it's at Anfield, so Liverpool have got that record still going on. So no Brewster, 2-1 to Liverpool. Brewster, 3-2 to Liverpool.
Chris, tell us, is Brewster that good?
Yeah, I think he's really good. I think he just didn't have the opportunity at Liverpool. Every time he's gone on loan, he seems to be brilliant, excellent at Cardiff, Swansea. The back end of last season, whenever Liverpool were playing, it always seemed that Rhian Brewster was playing in the earlier kickoff in a championship, and he was always knocking goals in, either short tap-ins or what he's known for, these ridiculously long drives, almost like a golfer, just tees it up and smashes it in. I would have liked to have seen him stay at Liverpool. I'm glad that they put in that buyback option.
I'm less glad about that, but I am excited that you, someone who's watched so much of Liverpool and the youth team, and you really are close to the club, you do know whether these young players are going to be good or not. And I'll probably forget what you said about Ben Woodburn. So for my score prediction, the last time we went to Anfield and won, we were wearing this kit, which is why I'm wearing it today. Jostein Flo, Torandre Flo's brother, scoring both goals in a Sheffield United win. And I believe it will be the same scoreline again. It's a 2-1 to the mighty Red and White Wizards.
Oh, wow. So you think Sheffield United are going to end Liverpool's unbeaten record at Anfield for going back almost nearly 3 seasons?
Well, someone's got to end it. And why can't it be?
It's got to end. Yeah,
it's got to end somewhere. And we've had such a terrible start to the season. And we've lost games we should have won. Let's win a game we shouldn't win.
Yeah, I mean, Leeds came and gave us a game, so why not? Why can't you come? Chris Wilder's a great manager as well, and I think Liverpool have edged past Sheffield United a couple of times. Think back to last season. I expect a tough battle. I'm just really scared for the rest of the season with no Virgil van Dijk and no Alisson at the minute as well. I could do without one of them. I can go, all right, no Alisson or no Van Dijk, no Van Dijk and no Alisson. Puts Liverpool back for me 2016, 2017.
It's going to be a fascinating game. I would like to wish you all the best for the rest of the season, except when you, of course, come to beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. But football journalist, Liverpool fan from the Liverpool website, this is Anfield. Chris Williams, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Hal. Thanks.
Look at that ping from Norwood. Makes other teams look no good. Yeah. We've got a team full of leaders. Alan Hill, Chris Wilder taught us. Right. Yeah, there was us on the tour bus. Yeah. Look how many goals Billy scored us. It's beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. We are the boys from Shore.